My dear daughter, I want you to take a deep breath and feel my presence right there in the room with you. Perhaps you are sitting in that chair you've had for 30 years, or maybe you are looking out the window at a world that seems to be moving much faster than it used to. I see you. I see the silver in your hair as a crown of glory, not a mark of decline. I see the maps of 1,000 stories etched into the corners of your eyes. Most importantly, I see the weight you are carrying today, the heavy, silent question that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. What will become of me when I can no longer care for myself? I see you. Like this video to let go of your burden and subscribe to walk with me every day. I know the fear that clenches your heart when you think about the word nursing home. To you, it doesn't just represent a building. It represents a loss of dignity, a fading into the background, and the terrifying possibility of being a burden to the children you once carried in your arms. You've spent 60, 70, or 80 years being the pillar. You were the one who wiped the tears, cooked the meals, managed the chaos, and kept the family together. Now, the roles are shifting, and the uncertainty feels like a cold wind. I am here to tell you, do not be afraid. I do not look at your aging body and see a problem to be solved or a bill to be paid. I see a masterpiece that is nearing its most beautiful fulfillment. You carry so much guilt, don't you? You feel guilty for getting older. You feel guilty that your knees ache or that your memory isn't as sharp as it was when you were 40. You look at your adult children, busy with their careers, their own children, and their endless digital lives, and you tell yourself, I can't ask them for help. I don't want to get in their way. You've convinced yourself that your independence is the only thing keeping you relevant. My child, let me wash that guilt away right now. I designed the seasons of life. I designed the sunset to be just as purposeful as the sunrise. There is no shame in the changing of the leaves. You are not less than because you move a little slower. In my eyes, your soul is more vibrant now than it has ever been because it has been tempered by the fires of life. I remember when you were a young mother, exhausted and praying for just 1 hour of peace. I was there then. I am here now, in the quiet of your later years. I heard you when you whispered your worries about your future living situation. I heard the pang of sadness when you passed that care facility down the road and wondered if that was your final destination. I want to remind you of a promise I made to you a long time ago, one I have never broken. In the book of Isaiah, I told you, even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He. I am He who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will sustain you, and I will rescue you. Isaiah 46:4. Notice I didn't say I would only carry you when you were young and strong. I said, even to your old age. My arms are not tired. My resources are not depleted. Your value in my kingdom is not tied to your productivity, but to your identity as my beloved. You are not a case to be managed. You are a daughter to be cherished. Let us sit here for a moment in this truth. Let the tension leave your shoulders. You don't have to figure out the next 20 years today. You don't have to solve the puzzle of your inheritance or your housing tonight. You just have to trust that the one who has carried you through every heartbreak, every loss, and every triumph of the last 6 decades is not about to let go of your hand now. I am with you in the house you love. I am with you in the memories that fill those halls. And I am already in your future, preparing the way so that peace, true, divine peace, is your constant companion. Your dignity is safe with me. Your future is secure in my hands. We are going to walk through this season together, and I will show you that the best is not behind you. It is unfolding right now in the grace of my presence. My dear daughter, let us walk a little deeper into the garden of your heart. I want to talk to you about how you arrived at this place of worry. You see, the world you live in, the one I watch over with such longing for your rest, is a world that worships the new, the fast, and the loud. It is a world that has, perhaps without you even realizing it, built high walls around your peace. Over the last few decades, while you were busy building a home, raising children and serving others, the enemy of your soul was whispering a quiet lie, that your value decreases as your pace slows down. I watched you through the 1980s, the 90s, and into this new, dizzying century. I saw how life began to move at the speed of light. Technology changed, the way families communicate changed, and suddenly, the kitchen table where everyone once gathered became a place of glowing screens and hurried meals. You began to feel like a relic in your own home. You started to feel that if you weren't useful or productive in the way the world defines it, you were invisible. This is where the walls were built. You began to internalize the pressure of the American dream, the idea that you must be perfectly self-sufficient until the day you die, or else you have failed. This is a heavy yoke, my child, and it was never mine. I never asked you to carry the burden of perfection. Think of your children for a moment. I know the complex dance of love and distance that happens now. You see them struggling with their own bills, their own stresses, and their own aging. You see them and you think, I cannot add my needs to their pile. So you build a wall of silence. You stop telling them when you are lonely. You stop mentioning that the stairs are getting harder to climb. You hide the paperwork for the house because you don't want to start that conversation. But do you see what happens? In trying to protect them, you are isolating yourself. You are allowing the spirit of the age to convince you that family is a burden instead of a blessing. You are viewing your future through the lens of a balance sheet rather than the lens of my kingdom. The world tells you that a nursing home is the logical conclusion to a life that has run out of utility. But I tell you that your life is a sacred vessel that is meant to be poured out in wisdom, not discarded in a corner. We lost the path of peace when we started believing that independence was a higher virtue than interdependence. In my word, I created the family to be a circle of grace. I intended for the strength of the young to honor the wisdom of the aged, and for the wisdom of the aged to anchor the strength of the young. When you try to do it all alone, you deny your children the blessing of honoring you. You deny yourself the beauty of being cared for, just as I was cared for by my own mother and friends. I see the regret that haunts your quiet hours, the words you wish you'd said to your daughter 20 years ago, or the way you handled your inheritance plans. You worry that your lack of planning or the mistakes of the past have backed you into a corner where a facility is your only option. You look at your bank account or your physical health, and you feel like a ship lost at sea. But listen to my voice, not the noise of the world. The world says you are retiring from life. I say you are advancing into your most spiritual season. The world sees a house that is too big for one person. I see a sanctuary where my spirit dwells with you. The world sees a care plan. I see a providential path. Remember what I told my followers when they were worried about the basics of life, about what they would eat or where they would stay. I told them, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:34. You have spent so many years worrying about the plan. You have tried to outrun the aging process, outsave the inflation, and outmaneuver the loneliness. But peace isn't found in a perfect insurance policy or a fancy retirement community. Peace is found in the surrender of the what-ifs. You don't need to build higher walls of independence. You need to tear them down and let my light in. You need to realize that the fear of being put away is a ghost that disappears in the light of my promise to never leave you or forsake you. I am the great architect of your days. I know exactly how many hairs are on your head and exactly how many steps are left in your journey. I have a solution for your housing, your health, and your heart that doesn't involve you being forgotten. But to see it, you must stop looking through the eyes of the world and start looking through mine. My beloved daughter, we have sat in the truth of your pain and looked at the walls the world has built around you. Now I want you to look at me, look into my eyes and see the horizon of a new day. There is a shift happening right now in your spirit, a turning of grace, where the fear of the future is being swallowed up by the certainty of my love. You have spent so long worrying that you will end your days in a cold, sterile room, forgotten by the world. But I am here to make you a promise that no government, no doctor, and no bank can ever offer. I am your ultimate dwelling place. In my kingdom, time does not work like it does on earth. You feel that because you are 60, 70, or 80, the best has passed you by. You think the sand in the hourglass is running out, and you've missed your chance for true peace, or for mending the fractures in your family. But listen to me. I am the author of time. To me, the years you have left are not a countdown. They are a harvest. It is never too late for a miracle of reconciliation. It is never too late for a new way of living that keeps you surrounded by love rather than walls. I want to give you the divine solution to your fear of the nursing home. The secret isn't in a bigger savings account. It is in the restoration of your heart's authority. For too long, you have let fear be the master of your house. Today, I am handing the keys back to you. You see, when you stop being afraid of being a burden, you become a bridge. When you stop hiding your needs from your children and start sharing your heart, you invite my spirit to move in their lives too. I am working even now on the hearts of your sons and daughters, your nieces and nephews, and your friends. I am stirring in them a desire to honor you, to bring you close, and to create a circle of care that honors the life you've lived. You worry about your legacy and your inheritance, about what you will leave behind. But the greatest inheritance you can leave is a mother or a grandmother who is anchored in my peace. When your family sees you trusting me with your housing, your health, and your final chapters, you are teaching them how to live. You are showing them that home isn't just a physical address. It is a state of being in me. I promised you in my word, I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, there you may be also. John 14:2-3. While this is a promise of your eternal home, it is also a promise for your right now. I am preparing a place for you in this season of your life, a place of dignity, a place of connection, and a place where you will never be stepped foot into a situation that is outside of my grace. I am your shield. I am your provider. If I can feed the birds of the air and clothe the lilies of the field, do you not think I can arrange for the comfort of my precious daughter in her golden years? Lay down the heavy armor of doing it all yourself. You don't have to fight the aging process. You just have to walk through it with me. The grace I give you today is sufficient for today's aches, and the grace I have for your tomorrow is already waiting for you there. You are not fading away. You are ripening for eternity. Every prayer you whisper in your quiet living room is a seed that will grow into a garden for the generations after you. You are safe. You are loved. You are seen. I have written your name on the palms of my hands, and I will never let go. The peace I give you is not like the world gives. It doesn't depend on your health or your wealth. It depends on my character, and I am faithful. My dear one, it has been so good to speak to your heart today. Please, do not leave this moment without releasing what has been weighing you down. Leave your burden in the comments below. Simply type, "I receive your peace, Lord." Let it be a public declaration that you are trusting me with your future. I invite you to subscribe to this channel so we can continue to walk this path together every single day. You don't have to face the silence alone. I am here, and we have much more to discuss about the beautiful life I have planned for you.